So let me just give you a brief. So for the first 15 minutes, I won't take much time, but for the first 15 minutes, please let me speak. I just have certain things in my mind that I think that are important to be conveyed. And then you can raise your hands to ask your doubts. You will be unmuted by the admin of this group, and then you can ask if anything is not covered by me. Only then you can ask. And first wait for me to complete. I won't take more than 15-20 minutes. Okay. So first of all, there are 3-4 questions, fundamental questions that are to be discussed regarding CSAT. Okay, is everyone comfortable with English? JD, can you? So should I speak in English only, or should I
Yes,
use Hindi
we
also?
I moderate the comments. If there is any problem, then I'll let you know.
Okay, no issues. Okay, so I'm speaking in English only because our friends from South usually don't understand Hindi. Okay, so first of all, is the question is what should you do in the last this 15-20 days? So if you have been studying CSAT, uh, if you have your basics clear, and if you have attempted mock test and all, so then completely switch to PYQs. Then switch completely to PYQs and don't try to do anything else. PYQs, I mean, my PDFs, because they have a compilation of UPSC CSE as well as other exams of UPSC, CDS, CAPF and all, CAPF, EPF and all. CDS questions are not involved, not included in those PDFs because CDS have a separate maths paper, and that those questions can be attempted. Uh, just go to the UPSC website and download CDS question papers. The syllabus of CDS is much larger than our CSAT paper. It includes 11, 12 complete maths of 11th and 12th exam, but you will find a very good amount of repeatability from that uh, thing. Okay, so CDS, latest CDS exam paper of 2-3 years can be attempted. Only maths part, and that to the specific questions which are a part of the CSAT syllabus. That will give you enough confidence. Apart from the PDFs that I have shared, because they can contain most of the questions from CAPFs, EPFO, and the UPSC CSE. Okay, so these PYQ should be done, and believe me, they should be done at least twice or thrice. Because see, there will be a case when you will try to do the questions for the first time, and so what it is a usual habit of a human. So what we do, we try to do a question and we make a mistake, and then we look at the solution. But we are not going to either we will do it just once again at the same time, or we will leave that question. But the like maths does not work like that. It is kind of a skill development, so where you have to reapply your knowledge what you have learned from the solution. So what I will suggest, that at least twice you have to do. There is no maximum in UPSC, but there is a minimum. You have to do it at least minimum twice. Every question, every PYQ, you should it should be done twice before going to the actual exam. But there is no maximum. If you have a time and if you are very confident with your GS, usually that doesn't happen. But if you are one of that person, then what you can do, you can do it more than twice also, but there is a minimum. You have to do it twice. And what will be the process? Let me just explain you. Just try to do it once, and if you're making any mistake, just look at the solution, and after a gap of 1 or 2 days, try to do that question once again, because that will be the real test that you have grasped the concept or not. Because just by looking at the solution and doing it again at that very same time, it won't help. So try to do these PYQs at least twice before going to the exam. Secondly, don't try to do uh, a topic from the basic from right now, because that will take much of your time, and your GS will suffer. So what you can do instead, for the topics that are not well prepared, for example, if you're not prepared a topic like permutation and combination, if you have not prepared a topic like number system, now these topics are important, are tough, but cannot be skipped. I will repeat, are important, are tough, and cannot be skipped. So what you will be doing, so you can select some easy questions from those topics from those PYQs, and in the actual exam, if you are finding a similar question on the same lines, then you should be attempting them from those topics. Otherwise, don't dwell too much into a new topic at this moment. Okay, and try to focus. Like, see, last 15 days are more the most important thing to do in the last 15 days is to work on your strengths. So right from till now you are doing a very good job in working on your weaknesses, maybe in CSAT or in GS, and that will be a general advice for both GS and CSAT. Now you should start working on your strengths. Okay, so the topics that you are comfortable with, you should be able to do easy to moderate or some tough questions of those topics. And for the topics that are not very, you are not very comfortable with, that you find tough, so what you need to do is that you should be able to do the easy question. And what do I mean by easy question? The familiar questions. A question that is on the same lines that was asked before by UPSC, or similar question or a same question, that you should be able to do, and that you will be able to do if you will be selecting those questions from that those PDFs and doing them once or twice. Okay, so that will be your task for the tough topics that you are finding tough. Okay, and if you are still finding maths and reasoning tough, try to practice more PYQs of reading comprehension, because that will give you an edge. And try to maintain an accuracy of 20 questions, 20 correct question out of 27. Now that will be a very good figure, because you will be able to do 15-20 questions of reasoning and maths, easy questions of reasoning and maths in the actual exam, and 20 questions of reading comprehension will like you will be able to clear the CSAT cutoff with a very good margin. So that was about what to do in these last days. Now, second thing that I want to I've been asked a lot is how to select the questions in the exam, like how to go to the like how to select the question. Now, I have a very clear funda of doing these things. So there is no selection of questions in the actual exam, at least in CSAT. There is a rejection of question. Now, which question you have to reject? The question that you have never seen before, the topic or the question that you have never seen before, that you have never done before, it should not be done in the actual exam. Because see, it should be very clear in your mind. It should be very clear in your mind that every question consists of 2.5 marks, and solving each and every question will give you only 2.5 marks. So the question, and you cannot do anything new in the exam. It is like if there is some person from IIM or IIT, they can like do that stunt. But for general public, uh, who is not very confident with maths and who is struggling with CSAT, I won't advise to do any new question in the exam. So familiarity is the key. If you have not seen the question before, if you have not seen the question before, that should be outrightly rejected. That should not be attempted. That should not be attempted. Why? It is, I'm not saying that you won't be able to solve it, but it will consume more, your time. And time is the main variable in CSAT exam or in any exam, because you have to do at least 50 questions in 2 hours. That say like minimum like let's say maximum 2 minutes 10 seconds or some equation for one question. And that one so and some reading comprehension or some maths question will take more than that, but you have to do them. So outrightly reject the question that you have never seen before. Familiarity is the key. Now, second thing, after rejecting those questions, there will be some questions that you know that you have seen before, but you know that it will consume a lot of time. For example, a permutation combination question, which is asking you to make several combinations. So you know that question, you know how to solve it, but you know that it will consume a lot of time. So don't reject it outrightly, but keep it for the last. Like after attempting one iteration of the paper, after attempting 42 safe questions, just for the sake of doing it, do it at the end. Do it at the end. Just don't uh, compromise other questions because of that question. Because as I'm saying, every question is consisting of only 2.5 marks. Okay. So and third thing, if you're finding a very lengthy maths question, a very lengthy maths question, I won't advise you to do it in the first again on the same logic, because it will consume a lot of time. See, a lengthy maths question means you have to read it, you have to comprehend it, just the way you are doing in the reading comprehension. But the beautiful thing about reading comprehension is that beautiful thing about reading comprehension is that you're able to find the answer just after reading and comprehending it. But what happens in maths, you are starting the question after reading and comprehending the question. You're starting to solve it. That means it will definitely take more time than reading comprehension. Logically it is true. So leave those questions also for the last. And after rejecting these three kind of questions, the first one that you have never seen before, outrightly reject them. Second one that you know you have seen before, but it will take a time. And third question that is taking taking a lot of time to read it. The question that is taking a lot of time to read the question. ओके, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, इसके अलावा जो भी क्वेश्चन बचेंगे आपको ट्राई करना है करने का 2 घंटे में. Apart from these questions, you have to do all the questions that you think you can do in the exam. Now, what will happen? Suppose 30 questions are, suppose, let's say 10 questions are very tough, they are rejected. 10 questions are left for the last, and 5 questions are very lengthy to read. So out of these 55 questions now left, you have to try and attempt them. Out of them, 27 are reading comprehension, you have to attempt them all. And out of these, let's say the 27, 28 questions of maths and reasoning, even if you are able to do 10 and 15, then your CSAT is going, then you are going to clear CSAT. Even with, if you have done these questions with 80% of accuracy, you are clearing them. And if you have done them with 100% accuracy, you are clearing it with a very good margin. So that will be my advice for the selection of question, that there is no selection of question. There is always a rejection of question based on your weaknesses, based on the length of question, based on the familiarity of the question. I hope it makes sense. Okay, now second, one more thing that is being asked by asked to me is about whether to go for reading comprehension first, whether to go for maths first. Now see, it depends on person to person. Okay, what I would advise is that if you are comfortable with maths, so the first 15 minutes or 20 minutes of the exam are to gain confidence. So just understand the purpose of the first 10 to 15 minutes of the exam. It is to gain confidence. So now if you have done some portion of maths, if you have done some portion of maths, if you can find some easy questions of maths in the exam and you can do them, then try to do them, because maths question will give you confidence like anything, because there you know that you are getting the correct answer, and correct answer gives much more confidence than a reading comprehension question. But if you are actually maths phobic, and if you think that you will end up losing some marks while doing maths question, or losing time at least, then do the reading comprehension first. So that will be my advice. If you are true math phobic, and if you have a phobia of numbers, if you are very afraid of maths, then do reading comprehension. But even if you are a bit comfortable, like a little bit comfortable with maths, and if you can identify some easy questions, then try to do them in the beginning. And it should be a mix of all things. It should not be but one thing that should be always there in your mind, that every question is worth 2.5 marks. So you cannot invest more than 2 minutes, or let's say 3 minutes, in any question. So the worst thing that happens is that investing 2 minutes and not getting the answer, and that should be very clear in your mind whether you will be able to solve it or not. That's why I am advising you to avoid new questions. So this is another piece of advice. Okay, and this is it. If you will be able to manage your time well, so this CSAT is CSAT. So I can define CSAT in 2 3 words. First, it is a treasure hunt. You are so there are some easy questions sandwiched between many tough questions. So you have to identify. Excuse me. Am I audible now? So, can someone confirm? Am I audible? Okay, thank you, Dharam Surya, for texting me to confirm that I'm audible. Okay,
Yes,
so
you
this
are.
was it. Yes, this was it from my side. This is my advice. If you will be able to manage time well, if you are able to, uh, if you are able to basically manage the questions, like it is kind of a treasure hunt in CSAT. If you are able to find the easy questions and which between the tough ones. Okay, okay. One more last thing to that is my observation about CSAT. It was not a doubt by anyone, but this is my observation, and most of you will be able to relate with it. Okay, now what makes CSAT different, or what makes CSAT tough? Is it the numbers? Is it the calculations? I would say no, because many papers like from CAT, SSC, banking exams are involve very much calculation, more calculation than CSAT. So what makes it tough for the student? Okay, there are two things. There are two things. Okay, there are two things. So first is the language of CSAT. Okay, first is the language of CSAT. Now the questions are not tough to solve. The questions are tough to comprehend. Many people are not, the questions are new. There is a team of very smart people who is creating those questions. The questions are new, they are tough to comprehend. Many people are not able in the first reading, they are not able to in the I'm talking about reasoning and maths question. Many students are not able to identify what is being asked and what they have to do. So even if they know how to do it, they are not able to do it because they are not able to comprehend what is being asked. So when you will be practicing PYQs, try to comprehend the question first. That is the most important task, and try to visualize it or draw it or write it in an easy language, in equation form or anything that works for you. Anything that works for you. That should be the main practice for the last 15 days. You should be able to. So while do now will you do the last iteration or the second last iteration of PYQs? First and most important thing to focus upon is comprehension. So even in maths question, comprehension is required. You have to understand what is being asked, and then only you can do solve that. So that makes CSAT tough or different, I would say, because the questions are not easy to solve. The questions are easy to solve but tough to comprehend. Okay, that thing. Second thing that makes CSAT tough is that CSAT you are giving in a stressed state of mind. Believe believe me or not, because uh, most of us. What happens? GS is equally tough. GS paper is very tough, and so you have a GS hangover. Second of all, many people usually don't have a good night's sleep the day before exam, so they are much more exhausted in the CSAT paper. So they somehow they are able to manage GS somehow, but in CSAT paper the mind is very stressed. So these two things make CSAT tough. It's not about the questions only; it's about the state of mind that is very stressed. So please try to give two tests in a day along with GS. Try to do CSAT so that you can simulate that stress state of mind. Otherwise you should be able to rely on the energy drinks, रेड बुल वगैरह पियो, कुछ भी करो, नींद नहीं आनी चाहिए सीसेट के पेपर में, स्ट्रेस नहीं होना चाहिए, एक्टिव रहना चाहिए दिमाग, बिकॉज एन एक्टिव ब्रेन ओनली कैन सॉल्व दोस मैथ्स क्वेश्चन. Third thing, for the maths question, many people are texting me from this live stream only. So one thing that I would like to advise for last 15 days, you should be able to do it. Okay, there are two things. So two things you will be doing in the last 15 days at least. It should have been done before also, but even if you have not done it before, try to do it. If you are solving any maths question now, any maths question that you are solving from PYQs or from any test series, try to maintain a book of wrong. So what will be a book of wrong? Any mistake that you are committing while solving the question second time. Like first time में तो हो सकता है एक भी question ना हो. Like there is a high chance that you will not be able to solve the question in any question in the first time. But even after understanding the solution, when you will be doing the question, like I am saying that you have to do all the PYQs twice. So the questions that you are making mistake while doing the question that you are making mistakes even after looking at the solution, like while doing the question twice, at the second time, if you are making a mistake, then you have to note it down. It should be There should be a book of wrong. There will be you will be noting all the mistakes that you are committing. Okay. One. Second thing will be, there should be your own notes of CSAT. And what do I mean by notes? It should not be a formula sheet or cheat sheet, because see, the formulas are not important in a paper like CSAT, because the questions are fabricated. They are not very much related to the tricks or formulas and all. There should be a stepwise notebook. So what do you mean by steps notebook? You should be writing the steps of doing a question. So that will be a revision book. So these two will act as a revision material between the two papers, like the GS and दो घंटे का जो time रहता है, so that will act as a revision material. So you will be revising all the mistakes that you have made while doing the PYQs, and second, you will be able to revise all the steps, like how to do particular type of question. Suppose number system का कोई question है जिसमें दो numbers को inequality वाला जो question आ गया, so there is a particular method of doing that. So you have noted that method in your own language. In your own language is very important. Should not rely on any other's notes for that. So just make a stepwise notebook. जैसे बचपन में नहीं होता था, most of us have read maths till 10th class, no, all of us. So so there used to be like this: step 1, take x as a variable; step 2 dash; step 3 dash; step 4 dash. So make notes like that. So that will be so these two things, a book of wrong and a step notebook, will be your final revision material between the GS exam and the CSAT paper. Okay, so this will be my advice for the CSAT appearing candidate. And so some people are texting me. how to start from basic and all those things. Please bear with me. This session, I am taking this session mostly for the people who are appearing in 2024 prelim. So there are many. So we will be so for people who are not appearing in this year. So I will be taking many more sessions. I will try to take many more sessions on CSAT, where I will try to discuss how to do these things from basics and all those things. But this is mostly a crisis management session for the people who are appearing in who are appearing this year. Okay, so please, so I will try to reply through those texts by text only, but I will limit this session only for this year's prelim. Okay, now yes, JD. So now you can moderate the doubts if anyone is having, if anyone wants to ask anything specific apart from the things that I've said, so they can ask. So that was all from my side.
Certainly, anybody who wants to ask anything, please raise your hand and I'll allow you to speak from here. I'll start with Debashish. Yes, Debashish, you can ask it out.
So, good evening. So, my question will be, so if a person got weak about maths and has only last attempt left for UPSC, now what all can be done to handle the CSAT paper and clear it?
Okay. Devashish, see, first of all, as I've said, if you are weak in maths, then you have to work on your strengths. Okay. So what will be your strength then? Reading comprehension, I would say. So just check yourself. If you are able to do 20 correct reading passages from 27, if you are able to do, then you can definitely clear CSAT, because see, apart from maths, there are reasoning questions, there is syllogism, and there are very easy things that you will be able to find in every year's paper. So so that will be a treasure hunt for you. Try to look at the easy parts of maths and reasoning and try to do them. But you have to have a very good command on the reading comprehension. And by reading comprehension, I also mean that you should having the command on the keywords of reading comprehension. There are different keywords, assumption and implication and all those things. So if you are able to have 20 questions correct out of 27 in reading comprehension, then there should not be a problem for anyone in CSAT. But if you're very maths phobic in the last 2 days, so that should be your tool, reading comprehension. Second, for the maths, so see, one more thing that I would like to mention here is that there are no easy and tough topics in maths. There are easy and tough questions. So try to do all the easy questions, whether they are from any topic. So try to have a basic understanding of all the topics, and try to identify the easy PYQs. And if you are getting same PYQs, so like there is a high amount of repeatability in the exam. At least 10 to 15 questions you will find from the on the same lines of the previous years. So just try to do those questions plus reading comprehension. That will be your tool for clearing CSAT.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm now unmuting someone by the name of Food. You can please ask your question.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I have a doubt like how do I need to strategize the timing in exam? Like how much time should I allocate for each passages and for overall passage and arithmetic part or like the non-passages part?
Yeah, see, it should be it should never be about reading comprehension or arithmetic part in the actual exam. There should not be a distinction like that. So you will
Sir,
observe that you
I am from arts background. So first, I always do passages and then whatever time is left, so I'll try to solve maths. So like how much time shall I allocate in each
I
case?
am telling you this. So it understand it like this. So at least you are doing 40 questions in CSAT with
Okay.
80% accuracy. Then at least so then you are getting the cutoff clear. Like if you are getting 32 questions correct, you are getting the cutoff clear. Okay, so that is the minimum target. So obviously we will do more than 40 questions.
Okay.
Okay. So obviously we'll do more than 40 questions. So let's suppose you are doing 45 questions. That will be a very safe figure for everyone. If you are able to
Oh,
do more than that, that will be very good. Now, what you can do, you can club these 45 questions in three parts. Okay, in
okay.
three parts. Okay, so let's say 15 questions, 15 questions, and 15 questions.
Mm.
And try to allocate, like, so you have 120 minutes in the actual exam, 2 hours. Okay.
Mm.
Now you have to do 15 questions in 40 minutes. That should be a target. Forget about it is from reading comprehension or maths question. Forget it.
Mm.
You have to do 15
Okay.
questions in 40 minutes. That should be your target. Even if the
Okay.
question is from reading comprehension, no matter what. Because see, what happens? Every question is consisting of 2.5 marks, but every question takes different amount of time. And
Yes.
there are some questions, at least in maths and reasoning, that you will be attempting them, but you will not be able to find the answer because जो आपका
Mm.
आंसर आएगा वो चारों ऑप्शन में से नहीं होगा.
Mm.
So you have wasted your 2 minutes, but you have not got any answer. So
Okay.
considering all these equations, try to club the questions. So,
Okay.
and this is for all those who are listening. Try to club the questions in a set of 15, at least 15, because 45 question is something that is a very safe thing to ask for in an exam like CSAT. ओके सो 40 मिनट्स में आपको 15 क्वेश्चंस करने हैं, इस तरीके से ट्राई करना है, इस तरीके से. तो आपका क्या रहेगा ना, फिर बार बार गणित चलेगी दिमाग में. लाइक अगर आपने 3-4 मिनट हो गए और आपका कोई क्वेश्चन सॉल्व नहीं हो पा रहा मैथ का, तो आप रीडिंग कॉम्प्रीहेंशन के क्वेश्चन करो उस टाइम में. ट्राई करो
Okay.
रीडिंग कॉम्प्रीहेंशन ज्यादा करने का, क्योंकि आपको 15 क्वेश्चन तो करने ही करने हैं 40 मिनट में. इस तरीके से
Okay.
सोचोगे तो टाइम मैनेज होता जाएगा अपने आप ही. लाइक इट विल बी अ वेरी ऑटोमेटिक प्रोसेस. ट्राई टू अटेम्प्ट सम मॉक्स और लाइक लास्ट ईयर प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन 2023 का एग्जाम या 2022 का एग्जाम, इस तरीके से ट्राई करके देखना. 40 मिनट में 15 क्वेश्चन
Mm.
करने हैं
Mm.
आपको.
Mm.
ओके,
Sir,
आई होप
one
इट
more
हेल्प्स.
question.
यस यस यस.
Yeah. Yeah, that was clear. Sir, one more question. Shall I go through all the questions that are given in the paper, or like shall I just pick and choose, like just by skimming?
यार if you have left any topic, let's say, so suppose आपने पढ़ा ही परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन, तो उसके क्वेश्चन देखने की
Mm.
जरूरत ही नहीं है.
Acha.
मतलब, so the topics that you have not touched, but I will not
Mm.
advise this. So you should be
Mm.
able to do the easy questions of the tough topics also, that
Mm.
you feel tough. तो ये तो होना
Mm.
चाहिए. बट अगर मतलब नहीं पढ़ा है अभी तक और बहुत टाइम, अभी
Mm.
15-20 दिन में बहुत ज्यादा पढ़ भी नहीं पाओगे, तो ऐसी कोई
Mm.
चीज जो बिल्कुल भी फेमिलियर नहीं है उसको छोड़ना.
Mm.
मतलब उसको
Okay.
देखते ही छोड़ देना, बिकॉज यू नो दैट दिस इज like you're not familiar with. Second thing
Mm.
that I've said, especially for the people from non-technical background, maths का कोई बहुत लंबा
Mm.
क्वेश्चन अगर है, लेंथी क्वेश्चन है,
Mm.
यू शुड नॉट बी रीडिंग इट. क्योंकि उसमें रीडिंग करने में टाइम वेस्ट मत करो. बिकॉज सी,
Oh.
रीडिंग करोगे कॉम्प्रीहेंड नहीं कर पाओगे, कॉम्प्रीहेंड कर भी लोगे तो सॉल्व नहीं कर पाओगे, टाइम
Oh.
वेस्ट है. उतनी ही देर अगर किसी रीडिंग कॉम्प्रीहेंशन को दोगे तो एटलीस्ट पढ़ने के बाद आंसर तो आ जाएगा तुरंत ही.
Okay.
क्योंकि मैथ्स में तो वहां से स्टार्ट होगा क्वेश्चन, लाइक आफ्टर रीडिंग एंड कॉम्प्रीहेंड. मैं तो सबको एडवाइस करूंगा कि इसको छोड़ दो, क्योंकि
Oh.
इट इज लाइक, क्योंकि इन द सेम टाइम यू कैन डू एटलीस्ट 2 रीडिंग कॉम्प्रीहेंशन.
Mm.
अगर दोनों में से एक गलत भी हो गया, स्टिल यू आर इन अ वेरी पॉजिटिव थिंग. तो लेंथी क्वेश्चन है बहुत ज्यादा तो छोड़ दो, पढ़ते ही में तो
Mm.
देखो ही मत उसकी तरफ. और कोई बहुत नॉन
Mm.
फेमिलियर सा क्वेश्चन है कि उस टॉपिक को तो आपने पढ़ा ही नहीं है बिल्कुल भी, तो भी छोड़ दो.
Okay.
और
Okay.
छोड़ने का मेरा मतलब है कि लास्ट में देखने के लिए छोड़ते हैं ना, हम ऐसे थोड़ी कि
Mm.
छोड़ ही दिया. मतलब उनको
Ah.
लास्ट में देखने का सोचो. जितनी
Okay, sir.
इजी इजी चीजें मिलती जाएंगी ना, तो बिकॉज इट इज ऑल अबाउट कॉन्फिडेंस. सो ट्राई टू गेन एज मच एज द कॉन्फिडेंस इन द फर्स्ट हाफ एन आवर और द 1 आवर. तो जितने
Okay.
इजी क्वेश्चन, जितने रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन जो जो आप कर सकते हो ना, वो कर दो 1 घंटे.
Okay.
ओके.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
यस. नेक्स्ट.
Yes, Dharma Surya, please.
Hello, sir.
हेलो धर्मसूरी.
Yes, sir. I have two questions, sir. First, I have the comprehension part, sir. For philosophy topics, mostly difficult, sir. Mostly like morality or for individual perspective. So that type of comprehensions are difficult for me, sir. But the other topics like environment, agriculture, and all, it's okay, sir. And for the aptitude part, aptitude reasoning part, syllogism mm, and the state data sufficiency topics are very difficult for me to comprehend, sir. So these two topics your advice, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes. See, for the this comprehension part, I have not done the comprehension theme wise, never. So it is for me. It's all about basically the keywords, assumptions, implication, and all those things. But still, if you have raised this point, so see, the only way for now you to do comprehension is to reflect on what UPSC's answer key is saying. Okay, so mostly it happens because what I have observed from the coaching answer key, जो philosophical वाले comprehension होते हैं ना, इसमें coaching answer भी गलत हो जाते हैं. So try to look at the UPSC answer key and try to solve those passages. And apart from that, you can not do anything in comprehension rather than going by the gut feeling. Okay, you can just improvise yourself by looking at the UPSC's official answer. So what UPSC is considering right in such kind of passages, so that subconscious learning will help you in such passages. Nothing else can be done for that. If you want to have some specific practice in the last moment, read theory पे कुछ theme wise passages भी होते हैं, so you can have like practice of those passages. और किसी specific mock में उनको मतलब like, so only that will work. Apart from that, I'm not, so I'm not the right person to say. I'm not saying that this will work for you. I'm not giving you a strategy because I've not done passages like that anytime. I've always done passages on the basis of keywords, and so I will not be able to answer that in a full sense. But some advice that I can give, so I've given. Okay. Second thing that you are saying about syllogism. So that is something that is my forte from maths and reasoning. So try to solve syllogism. What, so what I will advise for syllogism question, try to look at the questions first individually. Statements होती हैं syllogism में, पहले उनको individually देखने का try करो. Try to look at them individually first, and then try to look at them as like a group. Okay, so that will make you. So what happens is like what happens with usually with the people, they started looking it at a group as a group only. But ऐसा नहीं होता because the options are like that कि if the statement one alone can solve, statement two alone can solve, or something like that. So what you need to do is that you have to look at them individually also, or and as a group also. So I'm not saying because maths is not something that can be taught like this voice chat only. So so you can go through the videos of syllogism. If I have uploaded it, I'm not sure in those I've given the solution or not of syllogism. But if I have done, then try to look at my approach or any approach of anyone on YouTube. You can go through. But try the mindset that you have to develop for syllogism question is that you have to look at the individual things also and the group, and then you have to have that perspective of a group also, like all the statements are taken together. Now for the data sufficiency part, data sufficiency is not a particular topic in mathematics. I would like to inform all of you that so data sufficiency is a combination of multiple topic. It can the data sufficiency can be from calendar, and data sufficiency can be from number system and all those things. So data sufficiency is not a specific topic. CSAT. What I would like to you to do at this moment, at like hardly 15 to 20 days are left for the topics and the topics that the topics that you are very comfortable with. Try to attempt the data sufficiency question of the same topics only. Okay, I don't have any much advice because data sufficiency is something that uh, I'm not able to gauge what is your specific challenge with data sufficiency. I hope it helps. Otherwise, you have already texted me, I guess, so we can have a
Sure, sir.
conversation. Yes.
Sure, sir. I have understand, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Right, we'll just be taking a couple of more questions. Vladimir Putin, I'm unmuting you.
Uh, Good evening, sir. I hope I'm audible.
Yes. Putin.
Good evening. Sir, actually, my marks have been decent in all of my attempts. This year also, last year also, I got 116 marks. But this year, there's one thing that has been bothering me for quite a long time while I'm preparing for this attempt. This thing is that there has been an alternating scheme, I would say, where UPSC would go on to make either RC very sketchy, like it was in 2021, then RC was very sketchy. Reading
Yes.
comprehension
Yes.
part was very sketchy, and there was one phase that came that LR, DI, and quants, they became way too much obscure. Matlab, it was like I could not complete the paper. Luckily, last year I had very good accuracy. I think I attempted, I did only two or three wrong. So last year, what I did was I attempted all the RC first in 35 to 40 minutes. And after that, I went on to hunt all the easy questions of quants and LR and DI. This is what I did it. But there is a certain issue in my mind when I was attempting mock test this year. That it happened. It used to happen that there in some tests it would be the RC that is tough, and the cons and easy, that is easy. But then my mind has already been made. Last year I attempted and I got good score. Last to last year I actually did not perform very well because of the same reason कि वो RC sketchy हो गया, मैंने कौन से start कर दिया. अब I am having this dilemma. If I start with that, क्योंकि I do not jump the questions. Like if I'm attempting RC, I will go from 1 to 80 and I'll attempt all the RC questions. And if I'm going to for cons, so is this a very hard linear approach that I should break it down, or should I be very flexible with the approach कि पहले 10 मिनट में देख लिया, अगर RC sketchy आ गया चुपचाप से कॉन्स की तरफ वापस चले गए, अगर पता चल गया कॉन्स 2023 की तरह है तो चुपचाप से वापस से आरसी में आ गए. शुड इट बी लाइक दिस, क्योंकि मैं इस बारे में बहुत डायलेमा में आ गया हूँ कि मुझे अपना
Yeah,
तरीका तोड़ना चाहिए कि नहीं.
yes, see, first of all, if you have done very good in the 2023 exam, there is no chance that you should be worrying about CSAT much. Okay, first of all. So that should give you confidence, because uh, if you in a like a very dicey paper like 2023, if you will able to figure out should you do RC or should you do quant, so that there is a some kind of subconscious learning that you already have. Now, second thing that I would like to advise. Okay, second thing that I would like to advise to you. Okay, what you need to do is that you should look at the quant first, because what happened last year is the quant was unusually tough like that. So RC being sketchy and IC was a pattern of UPSC. Like एक साल 2020 में आसान दिया, 21 में कुछ अजीब ही कर दिया था RC. मतलब बहुत अजीब से क्वेश्चन के कुछ अजीब से आंसर्स थे उसमें से निकल के आ रहे थे. Okay, so that you can do. Otherwise, one safe approach that I can tell you. So there are some uh, like you can be a bit flexible with the kind of questions that are being asked in RC, जो बिल्कुल easy core message type के जो नहीं होते, corollary है, core message है या कुछ है. So they don't generally they don't have any subjectiveness. So if you have done RC very in a good way since in last years, so they are the questions that you should approach first. तो जो बिल्कुल कोर आरसी के क्वेश्चंस होते हैं ना, जिसमें कोर मैसेज पूछ रहा है या सिर्फ इंप्लीकेशन नहीं पूछ रहा, एजम्पशन नहीं पूछ रहा, कुछ नहीं पूछ रहा, जो बिल्कुल सिंपल क्वेश्चंस है आरसी के, उनको तो कर ही डालो शुरू में, बिकॉज दैट विल बी योर कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्टर इन द एग्जाम. उसके बाद देन यू कैन लुक एट द क्वांट एंड देन यू कैन डिसाइड कि इसको करना है कि नहीं करना है, कि आरसी पे वापस जाना है, ऑल द थिंग दैट यू हैव सेड. But the confidence booster for you will be the easy questions of RC, and that have remained consistent.
Yes, sir. Is it
To stay
only
with.
me or? Yes, sir. I think you were not audible in the latter part of your conversation in just a few seconds ago.
Okay, so that was a call coming. Okay, sorry. So what I
No,
am
no issues, sir.
yes, sir. So what I am advising you is that, so first of all, you will do good. Don't worry about it. Second thing, if you want a confidence booster, then there are some consistent parts of RC. जो कुछ keywords नहीं होते, जो बहुत ही आसान टाइप के होते हैं. You
Yes,
should
sir.
do
Yes,
them at any cost. Like कुछ भी कैसा भी पेपर आएगा, वो तो होंगे ही वहाँ पे. उनको
yes,
कर
sir.
दो. That will be your confidence booster. Then try to look at quant. If you want to do it or not, that will be your call based on the toughness level. अगर 2023
Okay.
की तरह क्वांट आ गए तो पहले आरसी पूरा निपटा दो, अलग बाकी सारे कीवर्ड्स भी. बट
Yes, sir.
अ बिट फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी विल हेल्प. तो कुछ मतलब यू शुड स्टार्ट विद आरसी, some easy keywords, and then you can look at the quant. अगर if you find it easy, then you can do it. Okay.
Right. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for this.
But don't you people like you should don't people like you should not be worrying about CSAT. Focus on GS, I will say.
Yes, sir. I feel this is not about CSAT. I actually prepared for RBI phase 1, so which is why I think that is knowledge that is coming right now, and CAT, that knowledge is coming right now. I don't think I have prepared for CSAT as specific, but thank you very much for this.
That
For
happens.
giving
Yeah.
me.
So I particularly never prepared for CSAT until I became a CSAT teacher. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay,
that
that's
was something.
interesting.
So yes.
All right.
So,
Thank you very much for this
so
question.
all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very
You
much,
should
sir.
be worrying for GS. That will be my advice for you.
I am worried, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Okay,
All
two, three
right, sir.
more questions. There are two, three more people who have raised their hand. You
Okay,
can
okay.
unmute.
I'll mute them. I'll unmute Cope. Cope. Yeah. Cope, you can speak now, please.
हेलो सर.
Hello.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन सर बहुत सिंपल है सर, एनवायरनमेंट से रिलेटेड है सर थोड़ा सा. जैसे अभी मैं प्रिपेयर कर रहा हूँ सर प्रीलिम्स के लिए. सर ये सीसेट का है, लेकिन मैं क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता हूँ ना सर ये प्रीलिम्स के जीएस से रिलेटेड.
ठीक है ठीक.
तो सर एनवायरनमेंट में सर कन्वेंशन सर बहुत ज़्यादा है सर, उसको सर याद करना सही रहेगा या छोड़ दे, या फिर मतलब पढ़े हैं, मतलब एक बार नज़र मार लिए.
कन्वेंशन तो यार मतलब सी आप ना पीवाईक्यूज को जब देखोगे इन्वायरमेंट के, तो दिस इज
जी
आल्सो फॉर ऑल, मतलब जो भी सुन रहा है, जीएस वाला सेशन है नहीं है. बट व्हेन यू लुक एट द इन्वायरमेंट पीवाईक्यूज, यू विल फाइंड कि देयर आर समथिंग. So there are two type of questions. One is very detailed one, and one is very very like overlooked one. बिल्कुल. तो उसका बस आइडिया होना चाहिए आपको। सो दिस डिफरेंशिएशन विल हेल्प यू लॉट इन प्रीलिम्स। ओके, तो जैसे कोई बड़ी कन्वेंशन है, कन्वेंशन बड़ी कौन सी होगी, F1 F CCC होगी। ओके, क्योंकि उसका तो मतलब हर कॉप बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाती है, क्लाइमेट चेंज इज अ वेरी लाइक वेरी बिग टॉपिक ना। तो वो आपको पता होना चाहिए डिटेल में, उसके सारे कॉप भी मतलब रिसेंट वाले कॉप भी पता होने चाहिए, कुछ अमेंडमेंट है वो भी पता होना चाहिए, सारी कुछ कुछ डिटेल में पढ़ लेना उसके आगे। बट बाकी कन्वेंशन के बारे में बस आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि किस चीज से रिलेटेड है ये। लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल मीना माता कन्वेंशन है, मरकरी से रिलेटेड कुछ कुछ तो था उसका, इतना पता होना चाहिए बस। वेरी
ओके
सिंपल थिंग, जस्ट यू हैव टू हैव दिस अप्रोच ऑफ जूमिंग इन एंड जूमिंग आउट। तो किस टॉपिक में कितना जूम इन करना है ना, आपको ये पता होना चाहिए। तो आप वो पीवाईक्यूज से आप देखोगे, जब एनवायरमेंट की पीवाईक्यूज आप देखोगे, आपको समझ जाएगा कि कुछ बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, कोई बहुत बड़ी चीज है, तो यूपीएससी उसमें डिटेल में जाके पूछेगा। और कोई बहुत आउट मतलब ऐसे बाउंड्री वाली चीज है कि बस हाँ न्यूज में थी एक बार को, उसके बारे में यूपीएससी बस ये पूछता है कि ये जो न्यूज में थी रिसेंटली ये क्या है। यू जस्ट हैव टू नो हैव अ बेसिक आइडिया कि ये क्या थी और किस चीज से रिलेटेड थी, बस। तो दिस अप्रोच शुड बी देयर, आपको बस हल्का सा आइडिया होगा।
सर, एक सीसेट रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन है सर। जैसे
हम्म,
कॉम्प्रिहेंशन आते हैं सर, ठीक है, मैंने प्रिपरेशन मतलब मैंने प्रिपेयर करा है अच्छे तरीके से उनको। जैसे कुछ क्लियर विजन करके चैनल्स हैं, उनसे मतलब पढ़ा था, मतलब 4 वीडियो देखी। तो सर वो मतलब मेरे कॉम्प्रिहेंशन तो बन रहे हैं, मतलब एक्यूरेसी काफ़ी अच्छी हो गई पहले से। जैसे एजम्पशन वाले क्वेश्चन थोड़े बहुत गलत हो रहे हैं, बाकी सब तो ज़्यादा ठीक ही हो रहे हैं। पर सर कुछ
हम्म।
सीनियर लोग बोलते हैं कि ये सब ट्रिक वहां बैठ के मत करना एग्जाम में, ये यहाँ सॉल्व हो रही हैं। ऐसा सर कुछ है क्या, मतलब सर इस चीज के बारे में तो थोड़ा बताइए सर।
यार ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, देखो पता क्या रहता है एग्जाम में, वाई ट्रिक्स डोंट हेल्प। उसका बस एक सिंपल सा रीजन पता है क्या होता है, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट कॉन्फिडेंट इनफ फॉर यूजिंग देम। इफ यू प्रैक्टिस अ लॉट इवन विद द ट्रिक और जो भी होता है, आपकी जो गट फीलिंग आने लगती है ना कि यार यही आंसर है, एंड इट इज बिलीव मी इट इज नॉट डिपेंडिंग ऑन एनी ट्रिक, इट इज द प्रैक्टिस दैट यू हैव डन यूजिंग अ मेथड। वो बोलते हैं ना कि एक मेथड को आप बहुत बार यूज करोगे तो वो आपके अंदर बस जाएगा बस, ऐसा। और अगर ट्रिक क्यों नहीं काम आती एग्जाम में, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट कॉन्फिडेंट ऑफ, अगर हमने प्रैक्टिस नहीं कर रखी उस चीज के साथ बहुत ज्यादा। और कोई ट्रिक नहीं होती यार, एज सच एवरीथिंग इज वेरी लॉजिकल, कोई ट्रिक नहीं होती यूपीएससी में। सो दैट इज समथिंग दैट पीपल आर यूजिंग टू गेन व्यूज ऑन द यूट्यूब। ट्रिक वाली जो चीज होती है ना, ट्रिक जो कीवर्ड है, ट्रिक जैसा कुछ नहीं होता, देयर इज अ वेरी लॉजिकल बेसिस ऑफ एनीथिंग दैट इज बीइंग शोन। अच्छा आपको बस हाँ ये है कि ट्रिक वगैरह ये सारी चीजें यूज करने से पहले आपको ये समझना है कि क्या आपको बेसिक पता है कि नहीं पता। क्योंकि कहीं पे अगर फंस रहे हो तो वहां बेसिक काम आते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपको अजम्पशन का मीनिंग पता है कि नहीं पता, आपको क्रिटिकल इंप्लीकेशन का मीनिंग पता है कि नहीं पता, ये सारी चीजें क्लियर करने के बाद आप फिर किसी भी तरीके से करो क्वेश्चन, आपकी एक्यूरेसी आ जाएगी, कोई इशू नहीं है, कोई इशू नहीं है। बट द ओनली थिंग दैट यू नीड टू डू, आपने प्रैक्टिस कर रखे पीवाईक्यू सारे, अगर यहाँ एक्यूरेसी आ रही तो वहां भी आ जाएगी, कोई दिक्कत
हाँ सर, मतलब वही मेरा मतलब मेरे कॉम्प्रिहेंशन सर पहले तो मतलब इतना कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं था। पर अभी जैसे सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ तो सर जैसे दो गलत हो गए, 3 गलत हो गए। मैंने तो बस ट्रिक देख के डायरेक्ट पीवाई के उठाए थे सीसेट के, मतलब जितने भी थे वो मैंने लगाए। और ज्यादा ज्यादा 3 4 गलत हो रहे हैं, उससे ज्यादा नहीं हो रहे हैं मेरे, और वो भी
तो वो
एजम्पशन
वहां
वाले
पे
ज्यादा
भी
गलत हो रहे हैं।
हाँ वो वहां पे भी सही हो जाएंगे। अच्छा अजम्पशन वाले टॉपिक में ना जो ये काफियों को इशू होगा भी, तो जस्ट इफ यू हैव आस्क्ड फॉर द सेक ऑफ इट आई कैन एडवाइस यू। यार अजम्पशन के टॉपिक में ना एक एक, मैं ट्रिक तो नहीं बोलूंगा उसको, मैं टेक्निक बोलूंगा, मैं ट्रिक वर्ड यूज नहीं करता क्योंकि, पर टेक्निक टेक्निक ये है अजम्पशन वाले क्वेश्चन में कि टाइमलाइन देखो आप, अजम्पशन इज समथिंग दैट इज हैपेंड बिफोर राइटिंग द पैसेज। जस्ट लुक एट दिस फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ टाइमलाइन। आप ये देखना कि ये जो अजम्पशन होती है, ये पैसेज लिखने से पहले ली गई होती है हमेशा, ठीक है। तो उस तरीके से जब आप सोचोगे ना, और उसके बाद पैसेज लिखा गया है, उस अजम्पशन के बेसिस पे पैसेज लिखा गया है। जैसे मान लो कि अगर पैसेज लिखा गया है कि विराट इंडिया की जो अभी वर्ल्ड कप की टीम बनी है, ठीक है, तो उसमें अजम्पशन ये है कि ये सारे प्लेयर अच्छा खेल रहे थे आईपीएल में या फिर अच्छा खेल रहे थे इन जनरल। उसके बाद उनको वर्ल्ड कप की टीम में लिखा गया और उसके ऊपर न्यूज में आर्टिकल आया है, वो हमारा पैसेज था। तो ये चीज हुई है पहले, इस टाइमलाइन को आप दिमाग में रखोगे ना कि कोई चीज जो पैसे लिखने से पहले होगी, तो मेरे को हेल्प करती थी ये चीज। आई एम नॉट श्योर कि इसको और अच्छे से कैसे समझाऊं, बट अगर दोबारा आप क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर रहे हो या कुछ भी कर रहे हो अजम्पशन वाले, ट्राई करना इस चीज को अप्लाई करने का। टाइमलाइन वाली एक अप्रोच थी मेरी, बहुत सबकॉन्शियस सी अप्रोच है, इसको मैं बहुत ज्यादा वर्ड्स में एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर सकता। इट्स समथिंग दैट वाज यू दैट यूज्ड टू बी इन माय माइंड व्हेन आई यूज्ड टू सॉल्व द passages about this keyword assumption। और ऐसा नहीं सारे सही होते थे, but something that can be useful।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
Okay, यार आई विल हैव टू लीव बाय 8:50 बिकॉज मेरा 9 बजे खाना बंद हो जाता है, 10 मिनट बचेंगे। तो प्लीज आस्क द लास्ट क्वेश्चन।
All right, I'll take
और
Rajan as the last person.
यस राजन।
Sir, am I audible, sir?
यस राजन, you're on.
Sir, my doubt regarding CSAT is that I am attempting very least questions, sir. Like I am trying hard and attempting only 40 to 45 questions at maximum. But in that also, what I'm getting is that around I'm going in round wise. First round easy questions, second round little bit do math calculation questions. Even in this, while I am doing this also, I'm getting like in the first 40 minutes we have to attempt some 15 questions like that, no, sir. In those 15 questions also, I'm getting half the questions right, and sometimes half the questions I'm doing calculations, I'm not lost, I'm not getting the answer, and I'm moving on to the next questions. Like that, I'm facing this issue, so that I'm not able to attempt more questions. My attempt is low, sir. So what
Okay.
can I do in these 15 days?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to mention, Rajan, that your attempt is not less, your accuracy is less, because 40 question is something that many people are doing and many people are clearing. Okay, so the main issue is
Yes.
with your accuracy. First thing.
Okay.
Okay, and second thing, about the choice of question. So there will be an advice now, for everyone who is listening. Now, this can be an advice. If until now, if you're not able to assess like in which question you will take how much time, so one exercise that I will ask you all to do, one exercise that I will ask you all to do, try to solve the 2023 question paper or 2022 question paper, any UPSC paper. Okay, 2023 was a tougher one, but if someone has attempted it earlier once or twice, they should leave it and they should do this exercise using 2022 paper or the paper that is not very much familiar to them. Anyway, now, what is the exercise? Don't try to solve the question paper in 2 hours. Okay. Try to be time free. Okay. Try to be free about time. There should not be any time foundation. Okay. But you will try to note the question, time you are taking in each and every question. Okay. And you will also note the questions that you are not able to solve even after spending some time in them. By doing this exercise, you will have an idea कि कौन से क्वेश्चन में कितना टाइम लगता है और कौन से क्वेश्चन टाइम देने के बाद भी सॉल्व नहीं होते. That will act as a, so for this is the major advice for you, Rajan, and for all those who are listening about this. Okay, try to do this exercise and you will be, so you can be your own guide. Okay, you can be your own guide. After doing this exercise you will have that idea कि कौन सा क्वेश्चन मेरे को कब पहले करना है, कौन सा क्वेश्चन मेरे को बाद में करना है, कौन से क्वेश्चन में टाइम ज्यादा लगेगा, एंड एक्यूरेसी ऑल्सो कि कितनों के आंसर सही है कितनों के गलत है. Try to be like leave the time foundation and try to solve each and every question of 2023 exam or 22 exam based on what you want to do. Okay, please try to do this exercise, and after doing this exercise you will realize that there will be a very like drastic improvement in your time management. Just after doing this exercise there will be a drastic improvement in your time management. I can bet on that because I've seen results. I've given this advice to many students. I've given this advice to many students and I have seen their improvement. I've definitely seen this improvement. So this should be mentioned in in the talk in the beginning. I had written this as a pointer, but I forgot it. But as Rajan asked this question, so I'm mentioning this again. Try to do this exercise. Try to be like time free and without any time bound. Try to solve the paper. Try to note the time you are taking in each and every question that you are doing, and that will work wonderfully. So after that, these type of doubt will not arise कि how what question to do first or कितना time में क्या और all those things. Rajan, I hope it will help. Try to do this exercise and then try to improve.
Yes, sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I'm sorry for all those who have not asked. So now as my Telegram ID is revealed, you can text me on Telegram. I will be happy to reply there. Okay. So now I will have to leave because in 7 minutes they will not give me dinner. I'm
Certainly, sir. No issues at all. Thank you so
okay.
much for your time.
Okay,
We
thank
look
you,
forward
JD, for
to thank
coordinating this. And
you.
so now, most of you have my Telegram IDs, at least from this group. So, at least from this live stream, you can text me. I won't be able to give instant replies, but in a day or two, I will definitely revert back to you with whatever knowledge that I have. I will be happy to help you. Okay, and first of all, just leave this fear of CSAT from your brain. If you will be able to manage the time well, if you will be able to find the easy questions, and if you will be able to solve them, फॉरगेट द हाउ मच टफ द पेपर इज. कितना भी टफ पेपर होगा, 40 क्वेश्चन इजी होंगे, 40 ही क्वेश्चन टफ होंगे, मैक्सिमम 40 क्वेश्चन टफ होंगे. ओके, 40 क्वेश्चन पक्का इजी होंगे, 40 क्वेश्चन में हमारा काम हो जाएगा. जस्ट हैव दिस कॉन्फिडेंस एंड have this strategy. Okay, try to be like I'm as much as clear as I want. So I will be happy to help you, and do try to solve PYQ at least twice before going to the exam, and that will work wonder for you. Okay. So good night, everyone. All the best. I will try to take one more session if it will be feasible. I'm not sure if it will be feasible because my academy schedule is very tight. If it is feasible, then otherwise, like I will be happy to answer your queries. And okay, thank you, everyone. All the best.
Right, sir. Thank you so much.